What's really going on, everybody? Welcome to Gabriel's Trap House Gains, the only place where protein shakes meet philosophy and where flexing your mind is just as important as flexing your biceps. Now I know what you're thinking. What even is a trap house gain? Well, imagine if Socrates had a bench press and Buddha wore a do-rag. That's the vibe. This is the very first episode of our new series, Conscious OGs, where we talk about the legends in fitness and consciousness, the real-life superheroes who evolved from muscle to mind. And today, we're stepping into the life of the legendary Craig Monson, the LA OG who went from gang life to gym life, from chaos to consciousness. So grab your dumbbells, light some incense, and welcome to the trap, baby. This one's for my trapaholics out there. Let's get into this diary of transformation. From the beginning, Mr. Olympian winners Larry Scott, Sergio Oliva, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, and Lee Haney are iconic figures from the golden era of bodybuilding, spanning from the mid-1960s to the late 1990s. This period is celebrated by enthusiasts as the golden age of the sport, with these champions immortalized in major publications like Joe Weider's Muscle and Fitness and Iron Man. However, another remarkable bodybuilder, Craig Monson from South Central East Side Gang, is often overlooked despite his potential to win titles in the mid-1980s Mr. Olympian competitions. Craig Monson's height was 6'2" inches. He was known for weighing around 270 to 310 pounds during his competitive years in the 1980s, and he was reported to weigh in at 235 pounds at the age of 25 in 1975. His impressive physique and talent suggests he could have made a significant impact had he competed more often during the golden era. Monson's story highlights the many unsung heroes in the bodybuilding world who remain unknown. On November 22nd, 1963, an unsettling announcement about President John F. Kennedy's assassination reverberated through Charles Drew Junior High in South Central Los Angeles. Gang. At that moment, Monson's obsession with bodybuilding started at the age 13, when he was already collecting Iron Man magazines and sketching muscular warriors. Captivated by their physiques, he began drawing muscular gladiators and Vikings, decorating his locker with these images and storing extensive magazine collection inside. During a routine locker inspection, school officials were alarmed by the number of drawings and magazines, leading them to suspect that Monson might be struggling with psychological issues relating to his bodybuilding obsession. Moist. The vice principal called Monson's parents to discuss their son's unusual fixation and urged them to curtail his gym activities. Despite the concerns of the school staff, Craig remained dedicated to his workouts, prompting his mother to support his passion by purchasing him his first set of weights. By 14, his arms were so big he had to cut his shirts, and by 16, his physique was causing car accidents from people staring. This shows how early passion could look like obsession to outsiders. What's striking is how Monson's environment South Central LA gang in the 1960s wasn't exactly nurturing for bodybuilding, yet he carved his own path. His mother's support was pivotal. Without it, he might have been derailed before he even began. The Avenues. Around 1967, Monson, as a teenager, co-founded a gang called the Avenues at the corner of 83rd and Hooper Avenue in South Central. Gang. Gaining both fear and respect from outsiders and rival gangs. Raymond Washington, a young troublemaker living nearby, aspired to join the Avenues but was turned away by its leaders, Craig Monson and Donnie Boy. Undeterred, Washington formed his own gang called the Baby Avenues, but it quickly disbanded after being rejected by the original gang. Years later, Washington would go on to co-found the infamous Crips with Tookie Williams in the early 1970s. Meanwhile, Monson ventured into amateur bodybuilding competitions in Los Angeles, gaining recognition before eventually facing legal trouble that led to a stint in California State Prison San Quentin, and later a confrontation with a burglar in his mother's home. This is where his story takes on a Shakespearean quality, talent mixed with tragedy. The rejection of Washington is fascinating. What if moment in gang history. His prison time shows how easily his life could have been defined by violence instead of bodybuilding. The Pit. Muscle Beach, an iconic landmark in Santa Monica, California, became the epicenter of the physical fitness movement when it was established in 1934, showcasing novice gymnasts on high bars and rings. 18 years later, Muscle Beach, Venice emerged, featuring an outdoor gym called The Pit that catered to serious bodybuilders with weightlifting machines and free weights. In 1966, 16-year-old Craig Monson and his training partner, Donnie Boy, attempted to enter the pit, but were denied access because they were black. Undeterred, they scaled the fence and began working outside, despite their repeated refusals. Eventually, the cashiers relented and accepted their entry fees, allowing Monson and his crew to train alongside the all-white bodybuilders and became a staple at the pit in the 1980s. This highlights both systemic racism and Monson's refusal to be excluded. His persistence, literally scaling barriers, mirrors his entire life. It's also symbolic. Bodybuilding was about breaking limits, and he did it socially as well as physically. Feats of strength. Monson wasn't just big, he was legitimately strong. During the 1980s, he benched 495 pounds for 12 reps, used 200-pound dumbbells, did 315-pound skull crushers, and leg pressed over 1,300 pounds. Unlike many bodybuilders, he was both aesthetic and powerful. This is where Monson separates from the pack. Many bodybuilders look strong but aren't powerlifters. Monson was both. His feats gave him credibility beyond the stage. He was a spectacle of raw human capability. The spirit of California. Monson competed in the 1984 Mr. America AAU contest in the tall class in Pasadena, California. The judges placed him second. The audience booed and erupted in protest when the winner was announced. Monson became a cult hero. This is the classic underdog versus establishment story. The judge's bias, probably linked to politics and connections, contrasts with the raw, visceral reaction of the crowd. Monson's charisma and sheer size made him unforgettable, even if the official bodybuilding world didn't crown him. The Night of the Crystal. In 1984, Craig Monson received an invitation from a DJ at a Swiss bodybuilding contest to compete in an all-expense-paid event called Night of the Crystal in London. Eager but unfamiliar with the city, Monson accepted the invitation and was surprised to see large banners of himself at the airport promoting the event. Upon arriving at the Heathrow International Airport, he found the venue packed, and as he took to the stage, the music from the Ten Commandments played. Monson flawlessly executed his routine, electrifying the audience. His dramatic growl at the end of the performance was so powerful that it resonated with the attendees, including his sponsor, Pacro RC. Encouraged by posing expert and bodybuilder John Brown to adopt a more approachable demeanor, Monson embraced the advice and successfully showcased a friendlier side by smiling and showmanship, enhancing his appeal to the crowd and transformed his stage presence. This is Monson evolving from raw power to entertainer. It's a reminder that bodybuilding isn't just about muscle, it's about performance and persona. His lion growl moment is almost mythic, cementing his legend as more than just a competitor. Fall into addiction. In the 1980s, Monson got swept into Hollywood's party scene and the crack epidemic. He could often be seen riding in chauffeured limousines and Mercedes-Benz on the streets of Hollywood while hanging out with Tinseltown's it crowd at private parties and nightclubs. Ultimately, Monson also picked up their drug habits as well. After all, this was the turbulent time of the 1980s where the cocaine epidemic during President Reagan's administration began spreading throughout both the classes of the rich and the poor ghetto neighborhoods. This drug was prevalent in affluent, well-to-do neighborhoods because, after all, the drug was very expensive. Like the biblical plague, seemingly overnight, crack cocaine infiltrated mostly Black and Latino neighborhoods, destroying communities and individuals at every level. Monson abandoned bodybuilding for 6 years, spiraling into addiction before entering rehab. This is the tragic arc, strength undone by weakness. It's also a reflection of the era. The crack epidemic devastated Black communities, and Monson wasn't immune despite his physical dominance. It humanizes him, showing that even giants can fall. A new beginning and legacy. In the mid-1990s, Craig Monson distanced himself from the Hollywood scene and found work at a local club called Dublin, just a few blocks from his gym. After 3 weeks of training, he tested his strength and astonished his training partner, Pete, by benching 315 pounds for 50 reps. 4 sets in front of stunned witnesses. Skeptical security guards from Dublin's were invited to witness Monson's feat, and he successfully repeated the performance, leaving them in disbelief. Despite facing setbacks, including a period of using growth hormone that led to cosmetic issues and a gallbladder removal surgery, Monson eventually regained his strength and physique. Today, Monson is now on the path to sharing his story, having a book written about his life, along with a documentary in the works. His life is remembered as one of raw power, resilience, and survival against all odds. Monson carved his way through redemption. The 315 times 50 story is legendary. It's not just strength, it's endurance and willpower. His comeback shows resilience, though the growth hormone episode is a cautionary tale about chasing size at all costs. Even in his later years, he embodied persistence. Monson's story is less about trophies and more about myth. He's a folk hero of bodybuilding, someone who never got the official crown, but whose legend outshines many champions. His life is a mix of triumph, tragedy, and transformation.